We are back at Alton Towers, and that's not the only thing that's back today. And we're not talking about Nemesis being back with a vengeance, because unfortunately she's asleep and experiencing technical difficulties right now. No, we're actually here today to visit this, the house and garden tour. Now, I'm actually not going to do much speaking through this because I want to be respectful to Stephen, our host, who is going to guide us through everything, talk to us about the history of the gardens and the house. So I'll show you some highlights of just what it's like, and I'll let you know how it was afterwards. But before we do that, let's just have a little sneak peek around the park at any of the updates. I'll eat my shoe if this isn't a cursed maze. And hopefully just in time for Scarefest we should have Hex. So, despite only closing yesterday, it looks like they've already replaced the signage for Alton Towers Dungeon with Scarefest. Moving quickly, and the dungeons is already boarded up, ready to be changed into whatever it's going to be for Scarefest. And I tell you, I couldn't be more excited this year. I've got high hopes for it. Minimal talking from here. You get a cool little headset to use on your way around as well, to hear everything they're saying. So this, from what we've just been told, is the first time anyone's ever got to go inside these conservatories as part of this tour. Right, that is us, done and dusted. So, it's a hell of a walk around that garden. First bit of advice, express parking. It is bloody godsend, it is. Oh, Jesus, I am wiped. Now, I did say that we were going to do like a review in the car when we finished, but I was wiped out after that tour. It's a slog. So 3-hour drive home, we're finally here, tea's on the way, and this is going to be our quick review of the VIP Iconic House and Gardens tour. Now, the tour, if you've not seen, is priced at just £10. I'm not entirely sure of what the limits are of the number of people that will be on the tour with you, but we were in a group of around 12 people, so not too much at all. This was the first ever House and Gardens tour, the VIP event. Now, for a first ever event, and the first ever time doing the event, this went absolutely swimmingly. It was really, really good. The narration was well rehearsed. It was very informative, a very fun thing to do. Shout out to Coaster Tog, who we spent most of the time with whilst we were there. Lovely chap, very funny. Thoroughly enjoyed meeting you for the first time. I know you'll already subscribe to him, but if you're not, go over, check out his TikTok, check out his Instagram. The guy is a photographic legend. So, back to the tour. What you'll do is you'll meet outside of the house, down into the entrance of the garden, where you will be given a lanyard, and on that lanyard you'll have a receiver, and on the receiver a wire with a headphone that goes into your ear. Feels very much like being a phalanx officer, but that is just so the tour guide, who's got the transmitter and a microphone, can give you all of the information. It doesn't matter where you stand, whether you're at the front or back of the group, you will always be able to hear him. A nice little touch, just so there's not someone that's feeling a bit left out there. Now, I don't want to spoil it all for you, so I'm not going to go into tons of details, but you will go all the way down into the gardens, you'll visit the baths, the conservatories, all of the places that are down in the gardens, as well as a couple of little places that I didn't even know, and then you'll make your way up into the house. And in the house you'll visit a few rooms, and you will go up onto the roof, as well as having a sneaky little peek at some of the leftover Scarefest, which I have to admit, it's almost like a behind the scenes Scarefest tour at that point, so I was very, very happy to see that. Speaking of behind the scenes Scarefest tours, Alton Towers, you know what to do next. Now, I must just say, if you are going to do this event, think heavily about it first. If you've ever been to Alton Towers, remember what the gardens are like. If you've never been to Alton Towers, the gardens are a hell of a slog. Now, anyone that's watched this channel previously knows I'm not the fittest guy in the world. Walking up that hill from the gardens, I almost bloody died. I was planning to tell Luci to put me in at my funeral. I was thinking that was it. I was going to die right there in Alton Towers Gardens. What a place to go. But yes, it's a hell of a slog. I mean, I do have arthritis in my knee, and going down all of the hills, up the steps, around everywhere, it is a hell of a walk. It's not just a normal walk. It's about 2.5 kilometres of walking in total, but it is very, very steep, uneven terrain. It is quite difficult, so if you're less than ambulant, you're extremely unfit, or you have any medical conditions, I do suggest that you get in touch with Alton Towers first and discuss it with them. Big shout out at this point to Lewis, who was there ready to save my life and provide CPR if I did die on the way up. Now, speaking of Lewis, there was obviously Lewis, as well as Stephen. Stephen was the narrator, the guide that took us around, and he was the one that provided all of the information about the event. It was some fantastic information, some things that I've never heard before, some things that aren't necessarily readily available on the likes of Wikipedia. It was very, very informative, very good, and well worth it. And then obviously Lewis was there as well. Lewis was providing plenty of entertainment for us, especially at the back. Absolutely legendary couple of guys. As well as everyone else, there was a couple of other people that wasn't necessarily there all the way through the tour, but they were there towards the start of the tour, towards the end of the tour, in the house. All in all, there were around 4 people which were allocated to this tour for just a group of 10 of us. Now, it's £10 a person. That's only going to have been maybe £100 to £150 they actually made from this event. That is going to cover the wages and almost nothing else, and whatever else is left is going to go back into the ruins. So anyone that is complaining that it's far too much to pay, it's less than a hot dog. A hot dog costs 14 quid. Some of the pizza down in X Sector can cost 17 quid. It's £10. And it's not £10 that you're going to have to pay every time that you go into the towers and into the gardens. Because genuinely, you can go in the gardens anytime you want. You can't go in the house anytime you want. But this is kind of a one-time only event. Once you've been inside, once you've done it, there's no real need to do it again. Until it's updated, until they maybe provide some more information, change the route that you go, it's not necessarily worth doing twice. But it is just a must-do for doing it once at just £10. It really is a fantastic event. 100% recommend doing it. There's no need to complain about the price. I mean, people are complaining about the price. Fair enough. No one likes an upcharge attraction. However, when we went in there, one of the ladies that was in there, one of the staff members, showed us that just 2 weeks prior, when the towers were completely closed off, there's no access to it, someone's actually managed to somehow get into the towers, go into one of the iconic rooms and actually graffiti the fireplace that's in there. Now that is when it's not open to the public, when they are physically checking and they've got CCTV that you could see in there. People are still getting in at that point and damaging it. Why would they let people free roam around it? This is why we cannot have good things in this country, because a lot of people treat stuff like crap. So £10 to make sure that all this can be restored and looked after, as well as making sure that the only people in that house are the people that genuinely care to be in that house and that are going to respect it when they're in there. I think £10 is a fantastic price. Absolutely well worth doing. Speaking of feedback, Alton Towers, what I do suggest is when people go up the hill after they've done that garden hill, there was a slight stoppage at the top for the tour guide to speak. However, what I would suggest is that you allow people and actually sort of push people and say, do you want a refreshment? There's a little hut just outside the entrance into sort of the dark forest area. It would be ideal if that was set up and ready with maybe just a few cups for drinking water, or maybe just some sort of juice. Just a free drink for the guests that are paying, even if you have to up that charge to 12 quid to allow you to do it. I think it's just a good point to allow people to rest, have a drink before they then go in the house. Because once you've come up that hill and then you have to go straight into the house up 7 flights of stairs, I was almost a goner. However, if you've got through all of the vlog as well as the review at the end, thank you very much. If you liked it, please smash the like button. If you want to see more content like this and all of our other travels, anywhere we can get them, please smash the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.